Hey guys, today I'm here to do a little makeup tutorial because I'm home with a sick kid and I thought it would be a great use of my time since he's resting. So today my goal is going to be to do a little quick look using this one brush. Now I know I've done this before with a light look brush, but I'm going to be doing it with the Buffy brush today because this is the brush that I recommend for girls or ladies who want full coverage. But they can only really get one brush now. So a lot of times I like to work with your budget. Like you tell me what you want to spend and I can get you as much as possible for that. And so a lot of the times one brush is all that's in the budget. And so since they're double-ended, you get a lot of bang for your buck. And so this brush right here is $36. It's super dense. The bristles do not come loose. I'm also going to show you how to clean the brush at the end of this video. And so I'm going to put my whole makeup look on today with this brush. And so this is really a good video for if you are really interested and you've been thinking about purchasing this cream-based makeup, or if you just purchased it and you are wondering what to do when your makeup comes in. So it's not very difficult at all. And so this brush is going to do all the things that I need for it to do today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my compact. So it's very easy. The first thing I would do when I got my makeup in is I would put my tins in order. So you'll notice that this is going to be the color that I brighten with. This is going to be what's kind of like my all over kind of color. This is going to be the contour. And so this is kind of be a little bit of a contour class too, because I have a few girls who have reached out to me and said I need a little bit of help with contour. And so I'm going to show you where I would place the makeup if I were you. And then this is going to be my blush. Now I'm going to do something different today with this blush because I'm going to show you the difference between a cream blush and one of the most popular powder-based blushes that's on the market today so that you can see how amazing these are. And so when your makeup comes in, they come in these tins and they're $14 each. And if you buy 4, you get a free compact. Now today I'm going to be using 5 tins because I'm going to be using this illuminator, which I'm going to be putting on different parts of my face so that when it hits the light, it looks really beautiful. So I'm going to be doing what's called hacking. And so that's going to take all of these colors. Hacking is highlight and contouring. And so I'm going to take all of these colors, mix them together and make my foundation color. And so my skin is already clean. It's already moisturized. I did use Maskcara's Milk Moisturizer, which has a super amazing formula to it. And so it also, everything mascara based is used, it really like puts everything in one place. First of all, so that it's convenient. You're not looking all over your bathroom for all of your makeup and searching and stuff. So that's one thing. Plus, when you pack up and go on a trip, this is the only thing that you take. Another thing is it saves you product. So if you'll notice when I squeeze this, it tells me exactly what I need. And I take this and just pop it all over my face. And it uses every single milliliter that's in this container. And it lasts a really long time. I've gotten a lot of months out of this one container. So I'm going to start with a stay spray. And so Maskcara has this spray. This is a prep. This is what I'm going to use to prime my face. And so it gives me just a good base to start from. I'm also going to be using the Maskcara Beauty Blender, which I think is the best. I have purchased several from every place, every company, and this is by far the best and the softest. I also want you to look at the difference between a dry beauty blender and a wet beauty blender. So this one right here has not been cleaned it out clearly because it's got makeup on it, but it's also not been underwater in several days. This one right here has been put underwater and wrung out in a towel. So this is what I'm going to be using to blend the makeup as well. And so if you're not wetting and wringing out your beauty blender, you are picking up all of your makeup and it's going back on your sponge and you're wasting makeup. So that's one thing. People usually don't realize that you need to wet the beauty blender. It also makes it really squishy and soft, and then so you can take it and pick up all the makeup that's excess if you put on too much. And it also pushes it down into your skins to eliminate large pores and imperfections. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to spray it. And yes, this is out of stock. If you order from me though, I am going to be giving you a sample to get you till you can get the stay spray, or I can recommend a different brand that is not as good clearly, but it's going to get you by. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put it all over my face. I have no makeup on except for a little bit of the Maskcara lip conditioner mixed with a little bit of lip gloss. And that's only because my lips are a little scary when I come on these videos and I don't have anything on them. Okay, so that's drying. So that's going to prime my face pretty good. And if you've ever had me do your makeup, you'll know that I bring my little fan with me sometimes, and I will let it dry there. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm going to pick up the Buffy brush, and I'm going to pick up the large end of the Buffy brush. And so I am going to just place the makeup where I need for it to go. So I'm going to go in with this color Amber right here, and I'm just going to put a little bit here. Amber is the color that most closely matches my skin tone. And so I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to swipe where I don't need the extra coverage, and I'm going to stipple where I do. So I've got a good bit of redness on my nose. I'm not really sure if you can see. When I make these videos, I can see everything. I can see every single imperfection on this face. But for some reason, when the video uploads onto Facebook or Instagram, it has like a fuzzy transfer. And so a lot of the times people say things like, oh, you don't even need makeup because your skin is flawless. That's not true. I can tell you right now that's not true. So I have a lot of redness, and then I have some scarring over here. And so I'm going to be concealing those areas too. So the rule I kind of go by with concealing is that if it's brown, I like to use a darker color to just neutralize that color. And if it's red, see, I think I've talked about how my dog Dot bit me here. And so I have like a red scar that looks kind of like a pimple here. And so I can conceal that with the lighter color. So I'll probably be using this to conceal it. But I usually conceal at the end. Okay, so I'm still gonna go on and put on this amber. I like to put it on my eyelids too, because if I decide to do some shadow, it's a good primer. Now, of course, if you're going to a Mardi Gras ball or a wedding, or you're gonna be sweating, I would use a regular eyeshadow primer to get the job done for that, because it's gonna keep your eyeshadow on longer. So I'm gonna swipe right here, and I'm gonna leave most of this open, because if you don't need the extra coverage, then you will be saving product by leaving that open and letting your contour take care of that area right there for you. And so these tints, the brightening shade usually lasts about 6 months, and then your, what I like to call your all over color, your main highlight, it usually lasts about 3 months, but for $14, you really just can't beat that. All right, so I'm gonna swipe that here really good, make sure it's in. I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit and stipple, still using amber. And y'all know I like my videos to be fairly fast because we all have things to do. Okay, so then I'm gonna flip the brush over, and I'm gonna pick up this color right here, which is linen. And I'm just gonna go for a little bit of brightening. And since this is the darkest part of your face, this inner corner of your eye, I'm just gonna pull it here. Now, if you have some under eye circles or bags or something that you need concealing, I can recommend this color, which is called Frenchie. And it is actually one of our cream blushes, and it completely cancels out any purple. It cancels out any like deep color underneath your eye that you really need concealing. So we would put that on there first, and then we would come here with this. And look how that just really brightened things up, you know. Mom trying to work and take care of a sick kid got me looking rough. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and kind of put it here. This is my triangle of light. I'm trying to keep this area right here bright, and then you're gonna see me take my finger in a few minutes and go over my nose after I contour it out a little bit. All right, so since I'm gonna be using just this one brush, okay, so clearly I could have taken this, done the main highlight, taken it back, done the lighter highlight. I flipped it because that's just habit. That's what I typically do. But what I should have done was I should have just saved this side, which is fine. It's fine. It can go into the contour just fine. So this color right here, I think I mentioned this one's linen. This is amber for me. And then I'm going to go into this color ash, which is a really great contour. Now I'm going to put my compact down because I'm going to show you some contouring. Okay. So you touch right here. This is my cheekbone. A lot of people will put it under here, and that's fine, but that's not what I like to do. So I like to start kind of here and kind of rub it in if you're using this brush. Now, y'all have seen me use the Detail Hack brush many times to do this contour. So I'm gonna go back in. The contour is a little bit of a different consistency. It also is a cream. And if you've ever tried to contour with a powder and then you try this cream, you're just gonna be blown away. Okay, so you see how that looks right there. Okay, so I even kind of pull it up a little bit higher. I'm going to be placing some blush on top of it. So I'm going to get really close. I like for it to kind of be like in a C right here, okay? And so if you're going below that, it's probably not giving you what you want. And if you're new to this makeup, then you probably aren't liking it as much if you're not using enough contour. That's usually the problem. So I accidentally picked up like a ton just now because I wasn't really being very careful, but it's okay because it can easily be buffed away. You've heard me say this before if you've watched any of my other videos, that really there is nothing you can't correct with a cream. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to be blending it. I'm also going to take this and I'm going to put it across my forehead right here. And Whitney, I will be seeing you soon because look at these roots. And so you can kind of see the shading that I kind of just did. I could even like completely buff that out here on my forehead. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm just going to drag it along my jawline and chisel out my jawline, still using the same brush. And then I'm going to turn it on its side. I'm going to dip into that contour and then I'm going to just kind of very lightly go down the side of my nose, kind of up here, and then just here. All with just this brush. So now I'm gonna pick up this color Linen with just my little finger, and I'm gonna just kind of highlight the bridge of my nose. Okay, and now it's time to blend. So I told you that I'd already wet it. I wrung it out in a towel. And so I'm gonna just be pressing. I'm pressing, not swiping. And so I usually do the lighter part first. To me, that makes more sense to kind of push that in first. I'll press it all in first, get all the places that my makeup can typically like set, and we don't want it to be cakey. This makeup isn't supposed to be cakey. I haven't had a trouble with it being cakey. So then I'm gonna kind of go to my nose contour here. I'm going to kind of roll it because I'm just going to push it in here. Push it in on the side. And so you see how it made those shadows on the side? And so even though I don't really have an issue with my nose, it just makes it look all chiseled and refined. Okay, so now let's blend some contour. We can take this one and kind of ombre it down, but I'm going to take this contour right here and just push it. I'm going to just push it. And then I don't want to drag it down because if I do that, it's going to get underneath here. And the goal is to make my face look three-dimensional. So you can't really make your face look three-dimensional if your contour is too low. So I'm just pressing. And if you put on too much, you're just going to have to press longer. I was doing makeup this weekend for Mardi Gras and I put on too much because everyone's skin holds it differently. And I'm always amazed at like how different everyone's skin is, because if you just take this brush and swipe it across like 10 people's faces, 10 people's skin is going to handle it differently. And so all I did was get up and I went and re-wet this, and I was able to push it in and make it work beautifully, and it looked gorgeous. And so I'm pressing on this side. And this side I'm always kind of worried because I do have those scars on the side of my cheeks. So I always check to make sure that I have the makeup how I want it. And then sometimes right here, it tends to get a little bit cakey. So I just press it in here, and then I like kind of look to make sure I don't need extra concealing. And so that looks good. Push that up, okay? And so I'm gonna set it with airspun powder. I'm gonna take this, put it under here, swipe it up, barely touch it there, barely touch it there, and I don't like loose powder under my eyes. Let it sit for a minute, and while we're letting that sit, I'm gonna show you two blushes. And so this blush is called Ruby. It's really gorgeous. I'm gonna swipe that on my wrist. Now I know that looks kind of scary, but it's easily blendable, and it's lip and cheek also, but it's heavily pigmented. And so now I'm gonna take a very popular powder blush, and I'm gonna stick my finger in it, and I'm gonna put it next to it. Where is it? I mean, it takes a lot more product, and I'm digging into it. Like, I am digging my finger into it, trying to get some makeup on there. And so you can just see how different it is. Look, you can see it's so much lighter, and you don't have to use this much. So I'm going to use this color Ruby, and I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to plop it across here. Now that looks silly, doesn't it? But you'll see. Sometimes I smile and I make sure I get the apples of my cheek, and I'm just going to blend it with my beauty blender. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up and blend it in. These beauty blenders are awesome. Sometimes I'll turn it over to the back side and work it in until I get my desired look. And you can see how pretty it is, and it just sits on your cheeks so much differently than a powder would. And so it's just so pretty. You can put it on your lips also. The last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my beauty blender to pick up this color right here. It's called Rose Gold Illuminator. And so I'm just gonna kind of dip into it, and then I'm gonna put it here, here, on the bridge of my nose, on my Cupid's bow, and that's it. We also have powder illuminators if you want something a little bit heavier. Sometimes I'll use those, they make great eyeshadows too, and I've been taking them and putting them on my Cupid's bow right here, and I really love it. If you mix that with your blush, it makes it even more beautiful. Okay, so the last thing you do is you just spray your face. And so while that's setting, I'm going to show you how to clean your brushes. Now, Maskcara has a brush cleaner. It's called Restore. Right now it's out of stock. I've used some from Walgreens before. I've also used a little bit of baby shampoo or a little bit of Dial soap with some water. And so I'm just going to spray my brush. I don't submerge it in water. And I'm just going to take my cloth and just wipe it on there. And it's fast drying, so you could even use this after. And so I do this in between clients a lot of the times to make sure that my stuff is sanitary, but it also doesn't need any drying time. So look, it's clean. I'm gonna do the other side. Wipe it off. My brush is now clean and sanitary. So if you're prone to breakouts, you wanna make sure that your brush gets cleaned often. Okay guys, so that's some of my tips today. Don't forget cream blush. And even if you already love what you're using for your foundation, maybe you want to try a cream blush. So get in touch with me and I will send you my website, or you can click on the link above. Maybe you just want to try the brush. You know, if you love what you do already, maybe the brush would be a good addition to your makeup. So get in touch with me if you want to color match in person or online. I do them online. So far, I'm at 100%. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.